Mr. M.V. Rajasekhar is the CMD at BEML, now joining in. Good to have you on board. Can you walk us through what are the details on the demerger process for your divestment?
Yeah, I think you know that our disinvestment process of BEML is in a strong path, right? So I think you must be aware that all the assets of BEML have been divided into two. One is the operational lands, where actually the business is happening, and they are surplus lands. These surplus lands and buildings they're lying idle. I mean, no activity is happening there. So the decision of the government is that these surplus assets have to be handled separately and they have to be sold separately. And only the operation aspect of the lands and the buildings, they have to be sold to the strategic partner. Now, how to do this process? That's why the consultant whom we appointed, the government has appointed, has come out that the first step is to form a subsidiary company. So that's what Niti Aayog and DPEML, they have given the approval for formation of a subsidiary. Now subsidiary has been formed. Now we'll be going and taking the approvals of SEBI, the shareholders, the registrar of companies, and of course the ministries. We'll take the approvals and then we transfer all the surplus assets to the subsidiary. That is nothing but demerger. That is a demerging operation. Now once this completes, this company will be listed as a mirror company of BEML. Shareholding pattern will be exactly similar to the what shareholding pattern we have today in BEML, with government at 54.03%, right? So once this company is listed, it becomes a different company as a mirror company of BEML. And as and when government sale goes for the sale of these assets, the proceeds will be shared across the shareholders as per the pattern. So maybe it may take around 4 or 5 years time by when they dispose all the assets. And finally, when all assets are sold, the company will become null and void and it ceases to exist. However, disinvestment, that is transfer of these operational assets to a private partner, should be independent of this because that takes more time, whereas this can be completed in 1 year. So that is the reason this subsidiary has been formed, especially for parking the surplus assets. That is the purpose.
So can you just give us some more sense in terms of the timeline for the sale of these assets and what exactly is on offer?
Yeah, this asset is a completely the government will be handling from the mirror company. We don't know because big chunks of lands are available, like in Bangalore 100 acres, in again Mysore around more than 150 acres. In Palakkad we have more than 200 acres. So overnight it cannot be sold. It may really take time. It may take even 2 to 3 years time. So we cannot say on that. However, divestment is concerned. Now presently some bids have come. They have expressed their interest. And after security clearance, they'll be asked to give the financial bid. And whoever becomes H1 in that, they'll be handed over the company. This process may take around 1 year time. That's what government is expecting, that this process should be completed within this financial year, before March. Whereas this asset selling from the surplus land selling from a mirror company, that will take more time. So that's why the division has taken place, right?
So what would you say has driven earnings for you?
Yeah, just I want to share a very good information that whatever turnover we achieved this year, at the end of 2021, is our highest ever turnover in our history. So in spite of closing down our operations for nearly 1.5 months, the beginning of the year, the next 10.5 months, the situation turned around and we achieved not only a better figure than last year, but our highest ever. First time we breached the mark, 3,500 mark, both in sales as well as production. I attribute to these 4 reasons. One is we had problems in the last quarter of the previous year because of COVID problems in China and European countries, there were problems with supply of materials. Those materials started coming in the second half of this year. 1. 2. Because the economy was slowing down, Government of India is a bit apprehensive about this. So they asked all the mining companies to increase their expenditure on capital machinery. So therefore, companies like Coal India and other NMDC, etc., they really went on buying spree. There we grabbed good orders. We really fought with all multinationals, got good orders, and we executed them, delivered them also. Third is trains clearance, we had kept ready almost around 140 numbers of cars for MEMU. That's mainline electric multiple unit. These are the trains that are run between two cities, a shorter distance of around or a distance of 400 to 500 kilometers. Even though we made, the testing and clearance was taking too much time. I mean, because of the pandemic situation, of course. But in the February month, when we requested the RDSO, the railway board and the rights, they really helped to the great extent, accompanied by, of course, our team BEML. They really done wonders in the 2 months. Normally, what takes around 6 months' time, they completed all the trials, the inspection procedures, and they gave the clearances. And whatever trains we produced, completely all these trains we could convert them into sales. That's a turning point. Then fourth is, of course, even as a team BEML, our employees, they were really nervous in the first 3 months of the quarter. But after that, they really came over all their nervousness and the fears, and they worked together and they did their best result. And is, I say, is a dream-like synchronization. All the things, 4 things happened together. That's why we could double what we did in the first 9 months. In the next 3 months, we doubled.
What about your margin picture as well as the order book position as of now?
Yeah, the first thing is, let me talk about the order book position. It's extremely encouraging. We have orders to the tune of 11,300 crores in hand, out of which 4,500 crores can be executed this year itself. In that, the breakup is around 5,000 crores in rail and metro, 4,500 crores in defense and aerospace, and about 1,700 crores in mining and construction. And further, we are expecting it another 2,000 to 2,500 crores orders this year. So therefore, definite, I can promise that whatever results we have shown in the last quarter, they'll be repeated again this year, and I can show the same growth, 15% growth in this year also. Our company can show a growth of 15% growth in this year also, 21-22. Because things are looking very good.
Okay. So the overall impact then, as you see it, if you could share that with us on the sector, given the second wave and the resulting impact of the pandemic?
Effect of pandemic, I mean, the story of all the companies is same. Last year, the first quarter was disastrous, and because we didn't know how to deal with the pandemic, so therefore we closed the operations, we shut down the shops, we didn't do anything. Turnover was horrible in the last year, first quarter. Even though we made a record by end of the year, but first quarter was very bad. But this year we have experience how to deal with such pandemic situation. You know, we have things in order, and the vaccination started, and almost now 55% of our employees have been vaccinated in our company now. So we didn't shut down the operations. Of course, with partial change, we have been working. So therefore, the performance and the results and sales are better than last year. So I think the situation will be easing up. I think by September onwards, I think it will be much more encouraging. And I'm sure we'll be, from October onwards, we'll be showing much better results than what we did in 2020-21. Again, we'll be breaking our records in 21-22, I'm sure.